Hello my dear friends, welcome to live prep. So in this lecture we are studying about what are the different sizes of the cells and what are the different shapes of the cells. This is a very small information, but it is a memory based information. Once again I am telling you, any value, any information that was given in NCERT, it is very compulsory and you should compulsorily remember that values. Okay, and in this way in the NCERT they have given about some diagrams also. So there also they have given some information, and that information also important for examination. Okay, so let us quickly and slowly we will go with all these information, so that this is a very short lecture, so we will quickly complete this particular one. And before directly going with that cell size and shapes, and here I want to discuss another important point first. And what is this particular information, and did they give this information in NCERT or not? Yes, the answer is yes, but not here. And where did they give this information? And this information is about cell that is interacting with the surrounding environment or the outer environment. And here for this we are using a term called as open system. And first we will try to understand what is an open system and what is a closed system. So now let us see about, suppose this is a cell, this is a cell. Let us imagine that this is a cell. Suppose this is a plasma membrane. Plasma membrane. Please remember, for the cell, plasma membrane is compulsory. Cell wall is not compulsory, because all the cells are not having cell wall. Only few types of cells are having cell wall. But plasma membrane is compulsory. So this is the boundary we are talking about the cell. And for this plasma membrane, let us say that suppose we are using a word called if, or suppose, anything you can say. If this plasma membrane is not allowing entry of any molecule into the cell and exit of any molecule out of the cell. If plasma membrane is not allowing entry of any molecule into the cell or exit of any molecule out of the cell. So that means there is no entry into the cell and there is no exit out of the cell. That means, see here, energy means we are talking about not just material, it is about the energy. Energy can be in any form, right? It may be some food molecule, that is also a form of energy, or it may be some other molecule, so that may be some energy, form of energy, or it may be some radiation also, it may be some heat energy also, whatever it is. If no energy is coming into the cell and if no energy is going out of the cell, in that case it is called as a closed system. Do you able to understand this? When we will say that this is closed, if there is no exchange of energy between this particular one and outside environment, if there is no exchange of energy, then it is called as closed system. That is the meaning of closed system. Now tell me, what about a cell? What about a cell? Cell is closed system or cell is open system? What is the nature of plasma membrane? Does plasma membrane allow entry and exit of these energy molecules or not? That we need to understand carefully. So now we will focus on this particular cell. In the case of cell, this living boundary, please understand, plasma membrane is considered as living structure, whereas cell wall is considered as dead structure. Please understand this. This is very important. Plasma membrane is a living structure, whereas cell wall is a dead structure. But still cell wall will allow some molecules, that separately we will talk. And here plasma membrane is a living structure, and what actually it is doing? It is allowing the entry of some molecules and also it is releasing some molecules out of the cell, yes or no? So cell is taking some molecules, yes or no? Suppose you are talking about the food, so we are eating the food, it is going into the digestive system. Now in the digestive system it will be digested, and after that cells are absorbing this. That means cells are taking this into the cell, and now this material will be used for different things. And if it is producing some waste materials, that waste material should be released out of the cell, yes or no? At least some basic example. So nutrients should be absorbed into the cell and waste material should be released out of the cell. That means some things are coming into the cell and some are going out of the cell, yes or no? So since some movement is taking place across the membrane, now cell is not a closed system, cell is an open system. I hope you understood this. In this way, energy exchange is taking place across the plasma membrane, across the cell. So that is the reason why cell is considered as an open system. Very important point for examination. And now the question is, where did they mention this? And this sentence they have given means they have not given it as an open system, and there they are saying that actually it is interacting with surrounding environment. This is the sentence they give. Interacting with surrounding environment means what? Plasma membrane is interacting with surrounding environment means what? It is involving in some movement of molecules or ions or some things. That means a cell is an open system. So very clear. So they have directly or indirectly they have mentioned in NCERT. Fine. But where did they mention this particular sentence? This information was given under prokaryotic plasma membrane. Now, do you have to understand this? So anyhow, in the next coming lecture, slowly we will study about the prokaryotes. There we will study about prokaryotic glycocalyx, cell wall, plasma membrane. So when we study about the plasma membrane, that day we will read NCERT sentence also. There they are talking about this information. And now I have a small question here. The same sentence of plasma membrane interacting with surrounding environment, they have not mentioned in eukaryotic plasma membrane. They have mentioned only for prokaryotic plasma membrane. Now my question is, this cell is open system, plasma membrane is allowing movement of molecules. Is this content applicable only for prokaryotes or is it applicable even for eukaryotes? Tell me now. So now tell me that answer. I want that answer first. So please understand. So some students what they are thinking, since this sentence was given only for prokaryote, it is not applicable to eukaryote. This is what many students are thinking. Please understand. It is not like this. Plasma membrane structure is almost same for prokaryote and eukaryote. That is the reason why original structure of plasma membrane we will directly study under eukaryote, because majority content is covered there itself. So directly we will study under eukaryote. Even though for structure wise, function wise, almost, I am not saying exactly same, almost it is same for prokaryote also. So that's why directly structure we will study there. So what is the overall conclusion? Even though sentence was given in prokaryotes only, the same sentence is applicable everywhere, whether it is a prokaryote, eukaryote, wherever it is applicable. So whether it is a prokaryotic plasma membrane or eukaryotic plasma membrane, whatever it is, plasma membrane is involving in movement of molecules across this. So cell is an open system, and this statement is applicable to both prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Very important point. Many students are making mistake here. So please understand this. Since it is interacting with the surrounding environment, now it is considered as open system. Very important, because that day when we are studying, simply I will say that since it is interacting, it is open system. That's it, because that day I will not give this much of information. Okay. So this is the point. Very simple point, but very important point for examination. Okay. Please remember this. So with that cell as an open system, that content is completed. And now we are talking about another important point, that is regarding the size of the cells. Do all the cells have the same sizes? No. Different cells are having different sizes, different shapes and different activities. In this way they are having different sizes. And here if you are observing in the NCERT, they have given one diagram also. Anyhow, so we will go through the content also, individual content also. So they have given some sentences in the regular theory part. And apart from this, they have given one diagram for this particular different organisms and their sizes. And what is the information that was given here? Now let us go through carefully. Here they have given a diagram, and here they gave a name that is called a typical eukaryotic cell. On an average, for a eukaryotic cell, what is the size of this? 10 to 20 micrometers. Okay, this is the symbol for micro. This small m is the meter, micrometer. Okay, so you can call it as micrometer, or simply you can say microns. So you can say 10 microns to 20 microns. That is the average range. Please remember, all these are average values. Some cells may have more than this, some cells may have less than this also. So majority of the cells will come under this particular one. That's why they are giving the average value. So typical eukaryotic cell is having the size range between 10 to 20 micrometers, or simply 10 to 20 microns. Okay. And here they gave a typical bacterium. Size they have given is 1 micrometer to 2 micrometer, or 1 micron to 2 micron is the average size they have given. And then they have given PPLO. What is PPLO full form? Separately under the prokaryotes, anyhow we will study. What is PPLO? Pluro pneumonia like organisms. Don't worry about the expansion. Under the heading of prokaryotes, they have given the NCERT. Okay. Pneumonia like organisms. Okay. This is what the name is. And here the size they have given is 0.1 micrometer or 0.1 micron they have given, and then separately they have given it for viruses. Viruses size 0.02 to 0.2 micrometers. Okay, this is the size range. Now overall, if you see which one of the following is having the least size, definitely viruses are having the least size. Okay, but please listen the question once again. I will repeat the question here once again, and then I will ask one more question and their wording will be slightly different. So focus on the wording. Which one of the following has least size? These are the options. Now what is the answer? Viruses. Which of the following living organism has the least size? Please understand here. Which one of the following living organism has the least size? Now tell me. Now will you write viruses under the organisms? In the options viruses are there. But will you write answer as viruses? No, you should not write, because viruses are not considered as living organisms. So in the options, even the viruses are there. You should not go for it. You should go for living. In the living organisms, who will come? Yes, up to this you will come. So what will be the answer? PPLO. What are PPLO? PPLO are pleuropneumonia like organisms. They are nothing but mycoplasmas. PPLO are a type of mycoplasmas. So what is the answer? You can go for PPLO. If PPLO is not there, you can go for mycoplasma, because PPLO are a type of mycoplasma. That's why. Understood or not? This is what. So if they are asking about living cell, if they are asking about called cell, if they are asking about living organism, you should go for PPLO or mycoplasma. You should not go for viruses. If they are not talking about living organisms, simply they are asking that which one of the following has the least size. That's it. There they are not asking about living, non-living like this. So whatever the options given, based on that you should go for the smallest one. Understood or not? So reading question is very, very important. Many students are not reading the question completely. They will read off of the question and remaining thing they will think that yes, this might have asked. After the examination they will realize that that was not asked, they have asked something else. So please remember, don't predict the question in the examination hall. Already question is in front of you. Read it, don't predict it, read it completely. If you don't understand, read once again and get the clarity about the question first, and then only go for the answer. Understood or not? So this is the information they give, fine. But now we will go with the individual sentences given in NCERT, and there you will get some discrepancy. There is some conflict between this information and that information. Then what we need to do? So first you need to remember these values, and now we will go with one after the other. And now we will go with the smallest cells. What are the smallest cells? Mycoplasmas. They are prokaryotes. Mycoplasmas are the prokaryotes. Anyhow, under the prokaryotes we will study some other information. What is the information that we will study? These are the only type of prokaryotes that are not having cell wall. Generally in the prokaryotes, what we will say that prokaryotes, they are having the cell wall around them, except very, very important, except mycoplasma. That means in the case of mycoplasma, cell wall is not present. If cell wall is not present, what will be the outermost layer? Definitely plasma membrane will be the outermost layer. Plasma membrane is also called cell membrane, right? That will be the outermost layer. So this is some information that you need to remember. But anyhow, this information we will cover separately under prokaryotes. Fine. Come back to this. Mycoplasma. We are talking about the size of the cell, right? Mycoplasmas are the smallest cells. Within the mycoplasma, there is a subgroup that is called PPLO. So PPLO are also a type of mycoplasma. So mycoplasma average size is 0.3 micrometer. But in this diagram, PPLO they have given 0.1. Now which one is smaller? In specific, if you are talking, PPLO are smaller. But in the option, you are not finding PPLO. Then what you will do? Mycoplasma only, because PPLO are also a type of mycoplasma. Please remember this. PPLO are also type of mycoplasma. This is the average size for overall mycoplasmas, and this is the specifically they have given for PPLO type. So in this way, PPLO, mycoplasma, both of them are same, answer will be same. And the smallest cells are mycoplasmas. Now you just imagine, smallest cells, they are not talking viruses because they are not cells at all. So this is the point you need to understand. So smallest cells are mycoplasmas or PPLOs. Clear? Average size is 0.3 microns, and in the diagram they give 0.1. Now in the examination, what to do? Don't worry about the examination. In the options, they will not give both the options. They will give either this or that. Only one they will give. So whatever they are giving, accordingly go for the answer. That's it. Very simple. So don't worry about the options. Options they will give very clearly, very clearly. They will never give the confusion like this. Okay. Only one they will give. Whichever they are giving, go for it. Fine. Next one, PPLO. They are called pleuropneumonia-like organisms. So they are also type of mycoplasmas, and their average size is specifically 0.1 micrometer. Next one is regarding the bacteria. Just now we studied about the diagram. In the diagram, what is the value they gave? 1 to 2 micrometer they gave. But in the regular theory report, what they gave? 3 to 5 micrometer they gave. Now what to do? Now what to do? The best thing will be take the least from this, take the highest from this. So what will be the average range you are getting? From 1 micrometer to 5 micrometer. Now it will be better. Okay, don't worry about examination. They will ask any one of this, or they may give in the range of 1 to 5 micrometer. So according to the options, you just go for the answer. So don't worry here. So from 1 to 5, starting from 1 up to 5 micron. This is the range for the typical bacterial cell. Okay. Next one, they are talking about the viruses. In the diagram only they have given here. Okay. In the diagram they gave already 0.02 to 0.2 micrometer. But please remember, viruses are not considered as living cells. This is the most important point you need to remember. Next one is regarding typical eukaryotic cell. In the diagram only we have studied this. It is having the size range between 10 micrometer and 20 micrometer. So this is the range for this particular typical eukaryotic cell. And then separately they have given the diameter for this particular human RBC. For the human RBC diameter they have given. What is the diameter they gave? 7 micrometer. Please remember all these values, whatever given in NCERT, you should compulsorily remember this. Okay. So next one they are talking about the largest isolated single cell. Largest isolated single cell, overall size wise, not just length wise, overall size wise. If you see, what is the largest isolated single cell? It is the egg of ostrich. Egg of an ostrich is the largest isolated single cell. Okay, so this is what it is, having the larger size. Okay, anyhow, this size value was not given in NCERT. It is not needed. Simply for understanding purpose I gave this. And next one they are saying that nerve cells are some of the longest cells. Read the sentence carefully. Nerve cells are some of the longest cells. Why they are saying some of the longest cells? Nerve cells are also longer cells. Okay, but in the case of plants, there are some plant fibers are present. Their single cell itself is having huge length. So in this way, there are different types of longer cells are there. Among those many types of longer cells, nerve cells are some of those. So in that sense, they are saying this. So that's why nerve cells are some of the longest cells. Okay. In this way, they have given this particular sentence. Okay. Next one, nerve cells means here they are talking about the neurons. Their meaning is nothing but neurons. Okay. Next one. So this is about the size of the cells. And next one, we are talking about the shape of the cell. For the shape of the cells, here they are saying that. So depending on the function, for different functions, the cells are having different changes. So in this way, the shape of the cell vary, means differ with their function. So according to the function, they are having different shapes. This is what the sentence they have given in the regular theory part. And then for the shapes, they have given a separated diagram. What was this particular diagram? Red blood cells, they are having round and biconcave. Please understand this. This is with respect to human you are talking. Human mature RBC. Human mature RBC is not having the nucleus. Human mature RBC is not having the nucleus. Now you need to understand this particular content. What happens if nucleus is present? If nucleus is present, suppose this is the nucleus. If nucleus is present, obviously the cell will get this type of shape. For the RBC I am talking specifically. Okay. So if nucleus is there, it will be convex. Suppose it is like this, it is called as a convex. Convex like this, convex is present on both the sides. So this shape is called as a biconvex. Biconvex. Okay, this is what. So once this nucleus is removed, what happens? It will be pressed from both the sides. So now it will become like this. Understood or not? So now it will become like this. Now overall, like this it is round. Okay, like this it is round. But from this side, if you are observing, it will be like this. So that's why this shape is called as round. Round in this perspective, and now in this perspective it is convex or concave? It is concave. Concave. And which concave? On only one side concave or both the sides concave? Both the sides. So it is biconcave. Understood or not? So that's why mature human RBC, since it is not having the nucleus, it is having the round and biconcave shape. For the nucleated cell, if they are asking, it will be biconvex. Okay, please understand this. Okay. So anyhow, with respect to human, whenever we are talking, we are not talking about immature cell. Always we are talking about mature cell. So you need to go for round and biconcave for human RBC. Whether they are asking mature RBC, simply RBC, whatever it is, we need to talk about mature RBC only. So it is round and biconcave. Fine. Now here I am talking another point. This will be connected with the frog. In the case of a frog, frog is an amphibian. It is not a mammal, right? So in the case of many of the mammals, mature RBC will lose the nucleus. So for human, this is okay. But in the case of frog is not a mammal. This is an amphibian, right? In the case of a frog, mature RBC is still having the nucleus. In the case of a frog, mature RBC is still having nucleus. So for the frog RBC, what is the shape? Biconvex. Now what you need to do? Already in the NCERT, this diagram was given, right? So now what you need to do? Here you just write human. So human red blood cells, round and biconcave, fine. And here itself, somewhere you just write that frog RBC has biconvex. Frog RBC is having biconvex shape due to presence of nucleus. Write the sentence very clearly. Frog RBC has, in the NCERT itself, please write this sentence in NCERT itself. Frog RBC has nucleus, so it has a biconvex shape. This is the sentence. Clear? With this is over. Next one is regarding WBC, white blood cells. These are also called as leukocytes. Red blood cells, short form is RBC, and it is also called as erythrocytes. RBC are also called as erythrocytes, red blood cells, and they are having round and biconcave in human. WBC, white blood cells, they are also called leukocytes. Okay, anyhow, slowly in the next coming chapters we will study all these things. And what is the shape of this? Amoeboid. What is the meaning of this amoeboid? Does amoeba has any fixed shape? No. Amoeba shape is irregular shape. So for the irregular, you are using a term called amoeboid. So WBC shape is amoeboid shape or irregular shape. They don't have any fixed shape. They are random. But please remember the important point for WBC. WBC cell is having irregular shape. But inside the cell there is a nucleus, right? But nucleus are having a fixed shape. Please understand this. In the WBC, different types are there. Granulocytes, agranulocytes, likewise they are there. Eosinophils, basophils, neutrophils, lymphocytes, monocytes. Total 5 types are there. For each type, there is a specific shape for nucleus. Please understand, for the nucleus, there is a specific shape. In the next coming lectures, means in the next chapters, we will study about this. But for overall cell, if you see, it is amoeboid or irregular. This is very important point. Many students are not reading the question carefully, so they are making mistake. For the overall cell, they are asking amoeboid or irregular. If they are asking about the nucleus specifically, they are having fixed shape that we will discuss in the next chapter, other chapters. Okay, over. Next one, columnar epithelial. Column means what? Pillar like. So they are long. So that's why they are long and narrow. This is how they are present. Okay. Anyhow, regarding this particular columnar epithelial cells, we will study some points in the animal tissues part. Okay. Next one, nerve cells. They are long and branched structures. They are present like this. And the tracheids are like this. They are elongated structures. Regarding the tracheids, you will study under the botany part. Okay. So in the plant anatomy, you will study about all this. And in here, if you are observing here, so they have given some structures like this. If you are observing this tracheid, it is long like this. Fine. But here they have given something like this. Okay. And what are these? Are they nuclei? They are not nuclei. These are called pits. They are called as pits. Okay. But anyhow, here in this lecture, we don't need to study about this. Simply understand that these are called as pits. So what you need to do is, in this diagram, you just mark it and then you just label them as pits. These are the pits. Over. And the next one, if you are talking about the plant, mesophyll cells in the plant, leaf and stem somewhere. So these mesophyll cells are present. So they are involving in photosynthesis and all, right. And now generally they are having the round and oval shape. So these are the different cells and their shapes that they have mentioned in NCERT. And these also you need to remember. Now individually we are quickly going. RBC for the human, with respect to human, we are saying that they are round and biconcave. And with respect to WBC, if we are saying they are amoeboidal or irregular in shape, but individually nucleus, if you are talking, they are having specific shape. That we will discuss separately. And regarding the columnar epithelial cells, long and narrow. Nerve cells are branched and long. Same thing. Individually I have given. So tracheate cells are elongated, and the mesophyll cells are round or the oval. Okay, in this way they are present. So with this particular part is completed. Let us quickly go through the size, because we need to recollect all this, because this is memory based, right? So that's why I am not giving huge information in this lecture, because from next onwards once again the content will come, but this is the memory part. That's why you need to remember this. So size of the cell for mycoplasma, what is the average size we have studied? 0.3 micrometer, and specifically for PPLO we studied 0.1 micrometer. For the bacteria, in the diagram they gave 1 to 2 microns, and in the case of the regular theory part they have given 3 to 5 microns. So what is the overall? Starting from 1 up to 5, 1 to 5 microns for bacteria. Viruses 0.02 to 0.2 microns, and typical eukaryotic cell they gave 10 to 20 micrometers they have given. Human RBC diameter they have given, that is 7 micrometer. The egg of ostrich is the largest isolated single cell, and the nerve cells are some of the longest cells. This is the information with respect to size you are talking. With respect to shape, RBC are having, please repeat, RBC are having round and biconcave, and WBC are amoeboidal or irregular in shape. Columnar epithelial cells are long and narrow, and the nerve cells are branched and long. Tracheate cells are elongated cells, and mesophyll cells are round and oval. This is the information that they have given in NCERT. Now let us quickly read the NCERT lines for this particular one. Cells differ greatly in size, shape and activities. So different cells are having different sizes, different shapes, and they will perform different activities. For example, mycoplasma. What is this mycoplasma? This is the smallest cell. Smallest cell, very clearly they gave. Don't consider viruses as cells. Mycoplasma are the smallest cells, and they are only 0.3 microns in length. While bacteria could be, what is the average size for the bacteria? They have given 3 to 5 micrometer here, but in the diagram they give 1 to 2. So that's why from 1 to 5 we are considering. Next one, the largest isolated single cell is the egg of an ostrich. That is the largest isolated cell. Among the multicellular organisms, human red blood cells are about 7 microns in diameter. Human RBC diameter is 7 microns. Next one, nerve cells are some of the longest cells. So different types of cells are present, but among them, so these are also one of the longest cells. Next one, cells also vary greatly in their shape. For the shape also, different shapes are possible. They may be disc-like, they may be polygonal, means different shapes are present, or columnar, cuboidal, cube-like, or thread-like also present, or even irregular. So in this way, different shapes are present. The shape of the cell may vary with the function that they perform. So generally, the shape of the cell is dependent on the function that they are performing. That's it. So this is some of the memory based information. So that is the reason why I want to make it a separate video. So in this video, we have covered this particular information. And from the next lecture onwards, once again the regular content will start from then onwards until the end of the chapter. Entirely it is the concept. Don't try to by heart the concept, try to understand the concept, so that it will be easy for the next coming chapters also. Wherever interlinking is possible, I will give all the interlinking things, so that in future we can easily go through all these contents, so that in the examination you should not make any mistake. That is what our aim is. Okay. Thank you so much, my dear friends. We'll meet in the next lecture. Thank you.